first, where you have 80 minutes of experience, certainly of playing at a high level of basketball when it comes to speed, when it comes to intensity, when it comes to pace. And that's fantastic for us. I think in a game like this, because our three-point defense, it takes a bit for us to learn that we're not an overhelp team. And that we really don't overhelp on the ball nearly as much. With that being said, you got to keep the ball under control. And that was a real strength of ours last year. We led the league in three-point shooting. And it takes a while for us or three-point shooting defense, it takes a while for us to figure that out, that we stay with the shooters because of the league that we're in. And there were times we did a better job of that inside of the game after not doing a very good job early. And then defensive fatigue got us a little bit. We got fatigued defensively in the sense of leaving shooters, overhelping a few times. And then when we were so locked in to keeping the ball off the three-point line, we got beat on a couple of drives, and I think that was as much defensive fatigue as anything. But we were playing a very fast pace. I'm excited about the fact that we're getting to play with that 24-second clock this way to have these guys understand what kind of conditioning, what pace and space is all about with a game that fast. They were excellent, and we knew they would be. And the two guys that had great games against us are the same two guys that led them in scoring against Wisconsin a year ago when it was a 101-92 game, I believe, last year. So they're good. They shot the ball at a very high rate. We made a lot of adjustments on who was guarding who during the game. And then when we are switching really in the fourth quarter, it wasn't nearly as aggressive. And that was really the one quarter that did us. It was 31-22 inside of that corner. But we did some good things. I thought we were able to get to the rim. Really, the game was giving us that. The game is always giving you something, and you want to figure out what that is. Well, it was middle drives for us, and we got a lot going down the middle of the court. And they did a pretty good job of taking some of that away. We still got back cuts. We still got plays out of the corner. But we didn't lose the game on offense. We lost it because we got fatigued a little bit defensively, and we didn't get the three-point shooting under control at the end of the game. And they shot it real well the whole game. I see that. But we needed to get a couple of stops. This team's got to learn to be successful. You got to put together multiple stops with multiple scores. And that's how you create separation. And the great news is we get to play a team that's in the same caliber as these two played for the league championship last year. So those are the films we've been studying, the two of them playing against each other. So we're excited about that opportunity to play tomorrow night too.
I guess how much of this trip is, at least in part, is about opening their eyes to the conditioning, and just because it felt like maybe the free throw line too, there were some misses there. I don't know if that was legs or if that was.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, it's a fast pace, but that's the way. I mean, we haven't even put our pressing in. So I think it's great. I mean, there's certainly there's not a plus to losing, and the bottom line is it doesn't matter if it's August 10th or March 10th. You want to figure out how important it is to win, and we had chances to get this game and we didn't get it, and that's what we have to learn. I mean, if the game's important enough to play, the game's important enough to win, and it wasn't like we weren't trying. We got a little tired on the defensive end, and I think you're absolutely right. 60% from the foul line with this team, that's fatigue more than anything else. And we were short on a couple of jump shots late where I think fatigue set in. But it's great. I mean, it really comes down to the teams with the skill and the will are the high-level teams. But at some point in time in the game, it's really not as much about the skill. It really truly is about the will. And that it just becomes something that's a multiplier. You know, you get your teammates so ingrained that we're going to find a way to win this game, and that's our youth. We've got to learn how to do that. We're not there yet, so this is a great trip for us to experience some of that.
Tom, even though you're going to go back to the 35-second clock when you get back to regular season play, can you play at this tempo all the time? I think.
Well, it's too early to tell. We're missing, an important piece on the front line, and at the same time, Nick has only practiced with us for a couple of days before he got out here, and literally because of his graduation, so he has not been with us that whole time. I mean, we'll keep getting better and better. But the key for us is to be able to dictate pace. And all of you know, I mean, there's certain teams that play really fast. They come play us at Assembly Hall, and they don't play fast. I mean, and they slow it down. I mean, you have Michigan at times that's known for their pace, and all of a sudden, that game's going down into the shot clock numerous times when we play them this year. Ohio State's done the same thing. So for us to take the next step, it's a program, again, all right, as we grow up, it's how do we dictate that pace even on the defensive end? And we're throwing things at them defensively, but we're trying, we got beat on concepts today more than we did any scheme. And they just, you're so used to help and recover. When you're playing in the Big Ten, that's not the way it is. Because if you help and recover too much, Nick Stauski shot 74% on open threes last year. I mean, you're dealing with some of the better shooters in the nation in our league. So you have to be able to adjust your three-point defense to that and to the penetration, and it takes a while to learn how to do that the way we're trying to do it. So caught us a little bit today.
Do you have any updates on either Honor or Jeremiah? Might we see him soon?
No. I mean, it is what it is right now in the sense of just waiting for Honor's paperwork to come through, and then we have plans, contingency plans every day for him to be here. So obviously today doesn't play into that, but we'll wait again for tomorrow. So,
How about Jeremiah?
Not ready to play yet, and it felt a little bit better today, this morning, but he's not ready to play yet, so he's not ready to run.
I guess in terms of the defense, and I know it's a little bit hypothetical, but how much do you miss those guys when you are talking about helping off of drives and things like that, when you don't have that big presence inside that can maybe discourage some of that?
A little bit. You know, as you've seen with number 11, we put Troy on him and changed the game a little bit with it because the length bothered him. And those two guards are really, really good. And then that's not even the best player that they had a year ago in Terry Thomas. Those are three really good guards. And then Gil just kept knocking it in, and they're an excellent team. They're so well coached. I thought the team the other night was extremely well coached. I think this one is. I mean, when you're sitting there and you're saying, I like this and I like this concept and I can see us running that, I love that. But they're well coached because they know how to play at that pace. And they know how to defend at that pace. Now, again, we were getting to the rim when we wanted to get to the rim, but they would change it some. We've been able to do more with Honor this summer defensively, which is good. But the biggest things for us were the three-point defense, and then we needed more defensive rebounds, especially from our guards. We have got to be a team rebounding team all the way across the board, and the guards have got to be as big a part of that as anybody.
You responded well when they jumped up 20-7. You know, that's got to be a positive.
Absolutely, a long game. I mean, even when we were down 9, long game. I mean, that clock is it just changes so much for you. You know, with the possessions, when you foul, when you don't foul. You know, when you use your timeouts, the whole thing. So enjoy that part of it and just getting that across to them. And they stayed with that because we made a good comeback there. But we really don't have our full court traps and things like that of that nature. And we've been so concerned about getting our, good standard of half court defense down. And we will continue to do that, and then we'll get the full court pressure in, during the season or in the preseason.